what would be the changes that I would do in the BR changes upcoming next week. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons, and of course I have some ideas that I wanted to share with you guys of BR changes that I think are needed for aircraft. Of course there's many more, but I want this video to be as quickly as possible, so bear that in mind, okay? We have two parts of the video. The first one would be 3 all-aspect shooting aircraft in lower BRs, and then 2 Israeli aircraft at the end of the video. The 3 first ones that are all-aspect shooters would be the A-10, of course, the A-6E, and the Su-25. Although I think the changes that they did back in the day are way better than what it was initially with these aircraft, facing a lot of aircraft that don't have countermeasures, but I think they need to prioritize that no aircraft that don't have countermeasures should face these missiles, the R-60Ms and of course the M9Ls. And why is that? Well, because there's nothing you can do about it. If you get shot, it's a 90% of chance of getting killed. It doesn't matter if the aircraft is slow or not, if it's an attacker that it's far away, I kinda don't care. If you are shot with these aircraft, with these missiles against these aircraft, you know, you are killed. You're basically killed, and I think it's a good idea of having at least a chance of fighting, right? So of course the A-10 being the main example over here, there is always 2 options in all the aircraft, but as first in an A-10 example, they can always add better missiles and heavily increase the BR. So do like the Su-25T and the Su-39, for example, adding an A-9M, for example, to the A-10 or the A-6E, and adding those aircraft to a much higher BR, like 11.0 or something. I don't like that option because I still think that those aircraft would suffer, and that's not the point. We don't need these aircraft to suffer. The Su-25T and Su-39, even with the R-73, they do suffer in air battles no matter what happens. So we don't need that with the A-10 and A-6, right? So the idea would have to be a slower but surely good BR, you know, increase, like a 0.3 or 4 change to it. So adding those aircraft to a 10.7, both the A6E and the A10, that would help a little bit, at least against the 9.3s. Although there are some aircraft going to 9.0 and stuff, it would help for the 9.3s to not face it. Of course, there is still, like, for example, the F4C that would face these aircraft at 10.0 sometimes, but at least it would be a little bit of a help. And in the future, when we get more BR decompression, maybe remove completely any type of aircraft that don't have countermeasures to face these things. With the Su-25 is kind of the same. Of course, the R-60M, I still believe that it's a less powerful missile than the M9L, but it's still all aspect, and if you get close to them, they can kill you if you don't have a flare very easily, especially in a dogfight with the R-60M, right? The Su-25, it's still a lower BR than the A-10, so there are still 2 options over here. The first one would be obviously to increase the BR to at least a 10.3, maybe even 10.7, just like the A-10s. And of course, there is the other option of removing the R-60M and adding the normal R-60, just like any other aircraft from that BR, right? So maybe even decreasing the BR if needed, if the R-60 is not that powerful. I don't think that would be needed, but still, it is an option for the future. The R-60 is, of course, a very hard missile to avoid, but the R-60M, with the capabilities of the all-aspect seeker being too good for an aircraft that doesn't have countermeasures, I think that would be a good option. Both of them are good options. And then we go for the 2 Israeli aircraft, of course. I still believe that there are 2 aircraft that should have a different BR. The first one is maybe, this is kind of a maybe, okay? It's not a really solid position that I have, but I still think that it should be kind of looked into. The same way as the other aircraft that we talked about, we have the Ajude in 9.3, which is a very low BR, using M9Ds and Shafir 2s, which are very good missiles. Again, if you don't have a countermeasure and you are flying a normal aircraft, these aircraft, if they get behind you, you are basically killed. So yeah, with the performance of the A4 and, you know, countermeasures, everything like that, maybe putting this aircraft to a 9.7 would be a good idea. Again, I don't have a solid opinion on this one, to be honest, but it is something to wonder about and think about a little bit before doing it, right? And the last aircraft that I wanted to talk about, it's the Nets. I kind of understand why it's at 12.3, but at the same time, there were some additions that happened that kind of make this aircraft not really be a 12.3 aircraft, right? Of course, we have the Python 3 on this aircraft, so okay, it's better than a lot of missiles, but it's still a very easy missile to flare, and everybody has flares in these BRs. So yeah, it doesn't have radar missiles, it doesn't have a very good radar, and it's in the same BR as an F-15 that has not only a better performance accelerating, etc., but it has way better missiles with proper IRCCMs, and even the AM-3, which is an amazing missile that in the game, I think it's better than the Python 3. And the AIM-9M, which has an amazing IRCCM as well, and a very good radar with very good radar missiles, which are the Sparrow. Although the Nets can kill the F-15 in a dogfight, everything else, the F-15 takes it, right? So, I don't understand. All the F-16As, Block 10s, they're all 10.0s, and I understand that the Python 3 might be a better option as a missile than the AIM-9L, but still, I don't think the difference is too big that we need the 0.3 BR difference between the normal A10s, the Block 10s, A's, F-16s, I mean, to the Net, right, with the Python 3. So, yeah, something to consider as well. These would be the BR changes that I would do. Of course, this is only my opinion. Leave it in the comments what would be yours. And then remember, I'm doing this video to be not as long as possible. So, of course, there are many other aircraft that can be included here. Many good options. F-104s at 9.3s is kind of weird. There is some other aircraft like the Hunter being still a very high BR, the F6, right? So there are many honorable mentions over here, but I still think that these are the main ones that I would change probably, okay? I see you guys on the next one. Again, let me know in the comments what BR changes would you do if you had the power, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.